welcome everybody. I'm very happy to see you all and a very happy feast day of St. Vincent de Paul. I'm delighted you could join us this morning. We have a very special session. Today we're joined by St. Joseph's and its Board of Advisors, and they're going to show us what it looks like when lived experience guides an organisation's work at strategic level. I could explain to you who the Board of Advisors are and what they do, but they will do a much better job of doing that themselves. So I will hand over to the Board of Advisors and Rob, CEO of St. Joseph's, and Colette, Head of Services.
So good morning, and thank you for joining us. It's lovely to see everybody here this morning. We'd like to start by introducing ourselves. Myself and Marie and Rob, who are here, we are supporters of the Board of Advisors, but actually the important people are all sat to my right-hand side. So I will ask them in turn to introduce themselves. Would you like to start? Who are you?
Lillian.
Lillian. Thank you. Would you like to?
I'm Joyce.
And I'm Alan.
I'm Stuart.
And I'm Marie.
And I'm Rob.
I'd like now to hand over to Alan, who is going to start off our contribution to Vincentian's Families Week. Alan.
Vincentian values presentation. We thought you would like to hear a little about the Board of Advisors here in St. Joseph's. The Board of Advisors is made up of 8 people supported by St. Joseph's, but we represent everyone supported by St. Joseph's. Last year, we celebrated 10 years as an adversary group. During this time, we have developed skills and confidence, which has allowed us to work closely with the trustees and the senior team here at St. Joseph's. We meet once a month to discuss important issues and develop easy-read documents to ensure the voice of the people supported by St. Joseph's is heard by staff, the senior team and the trustees. We are committed to the work we do and the role the Board of Advisors has in St. Joseph's. We would like to share some of our thoughts and experiences with you.
So to help us do that, we're going to do a question and answer. So Marie and I will support people to answer a few questions. So the first question that we have for the group to contribute to is, why do you think the Board of Advisors is important?
The advisors are important to help us, and advisors do listen to us, what we actually saying.
So you feel that the trustees and things listen to
Yes.
you when you go to a meeting?
Yes, they've got to be listened to us, and basically the clients would have to listen a wee bit better and understanding.
Alan?
I don't think there's much more to add to that, sadly.
Well, more than the advisors is important, and people love to join it, but one thing can't join it is to maybe learn how to go round about it and have a good time out of it.
It's about getting good things out of the group and coming along and learning about the group.
Then you think how about it.
And do you think it's important that you're able to be part of the group, Stuart?
I'll be able to be part of it.
And have you got lots of experience that you can share with the group?
Share life.
Share life, yeah. Well, what about you, Why do you think it's important? Your voice?
What do you mean?
Does it give you a voice? Can your voice be heard by other people when you're part of this group?
Yeah.
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 And is that
More, uh, more,
what's
more, more talk
so you're able to talk more to
More.
people, and that's important, isn't it?
important?
That you can come to a group and you can talk with one another and then be able to talk to other people.
Yeah, people.
What do you enjoy about being part of the board of advisors, Lilia? Is it fun?
And laugh.
We have a laugh.
Laugh.
Normally at one another.
No.
Yeah, lots of fun and lots of good work. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy meeting people in the group? Seeing the others on a Saturday? Yeah. What about you, Joyce? What do you enjoy about being part of the board of advisors?
I really enjoy some things when I come to meet, and it's basically you can listen to the staff, you can listen to the top layer. So basically, I do listen to a lot of people, but basically we do a lot of work on the board, do money situations, and ask the questions that are maybe difficult, and that's what we actually do. And it's actually a better idea if we know some people and basically do things so you can make a relationship to help you.
So it's about relationships
Yes.
and helping
Each other.
helping each other. Marie, would you like to ask Stuart?
Yeah. What do you like about the board of advisors?
What I like,
Why do you come on a Saturday?
entertainment.
Anything else? You do it here, people.
Pick up,
Speak up.
Why is that important?
for people want to speak up themselves, and they will learn off somebody else. It takes time. It doesn't work overnight.
And how long have you been on the board, Stuart?
For years,
For years. Do you know how many years?
no 100.
Not quite.
So those have been here 100 years.
10 years.
12
years.
From the start.
Yeah.
Alan, what about you? What do you enjoy about being part of the board of advisors?
It's just been all together and seeing people that you maybe not see during the week as well.
What do you think of some of the work that you
Uh,
do? Have you enjoyed doing that?
I've been terrific, yes, I like the books.
Policies.
Yeah.
If anyone's looking for a new policy writer, I think Alan has just volunteered because he likes doing policies. We've talked a little bit about the voices of the people that we support. Do you think that your voices and the voices of others are heard because of the board of advisors?
Yes.
What do you think? Is everyone's voice heard?
Everybody's got to say.
Yes, but the people who can't say, so we are the voice for those people that
Can't
don't have a
say
voice.
what.
And how do you do that, Alan?
by going to these meetings, that's the only way to find out.
And also, what meeting did you speak at the other day? You remember last week?
Why, that board of advisors, yes. Not the board of advisors, our voices, sorry. I get mixed up, there's so many meetings.
We have meetings for a purpose.
Right.
But what, can you say what Our Voices does, Alan? So what's the Our Voices forum? Who goes to that?
Anybody who wants to go to it.
Anybody that gets a service goes to that. And then you, as the board of advisors, speak to people at that meeting.
Right. To tell them what the work that we've done over the last few months.
And you can also get feedback from people, can't you?
True enough. If they want to give us feedback.
And then where can you share that? Who can you tell that to if you're in a meeting with the trustees?
Tell the trustees.
Yeah.
We go to the trustee meeting, don't we? And every so often, so four times a year we go and meet with the trustees. Yeah. How do you think your relationship as a group has grown with the trustees? And if we think way back, Sister Ellen, who's with us today, how have we got to know the trustees better over the years? How have we got to know them better? How have they become like friends to the board of advisors? More talking. More talking. More talking. More talking. Is pick up ourselves. Speaking up for yourselves. You've got to know people better. Better. And the trustees listen. 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 Yeah. Joyce, what about you? How do you think you've got to know the trustees better?
I've got to know the trustees basically. If you talk to them and know that, ask questions what you can do, and then basically help the board situation as well, and I actually help other people outside as well.
So that helps by talking to the trustees. That helps the trustee board.
It helps the trustee board because when I'm going outside, I talk to other people how they are.
Alan, how have you got to know the trustees?
Very well indeed. Built up a good relationship over the years. Always delight to see me.
And are you delighted to see them?
Oh, we're pleased that so many come up and share the time, make time to come up. They'll have a difficult workload as well.
And so you appreciate them making time for you as the board of advisors to join the meeting, which is really important, isn't it? Yeah. So
they hear what's going on up here, and they got any news to share, they'll share their news, no doubt.
Stuart, is there anything you want to add to how we've got to know the trustees better?
Well, most
Round the goal, yeah.
if you want entertainment, concerts, bands, always join all that. And then
What about the trustees?
they come and with it.
And
They don't know I do difficult things. with them.
but when you're around the table with the trustees, is everybody's voice equal, or is one person's voice more important than another person's voice?
They're all more important.
Everyone's important, so do you think everyone's equal? So do you think you've got a voice when you meet with the trustees? Do you think they listen?
Yeah. They're able to do what you want. It's, you only go so far.
Would it be good for us to share with the people this
And
morning some of the activities that we've worked on with the trustees to get to know them better? Because for all that there's lots of
no,
the games, will we talk about that?
but
Yeah. So to help us to build a relationship with the trustees and look at the challenges around communication and developing relationships, many of our chairs have very kindly taken part in a variety of games. So the first game that we did way back in 2013 with Sister Ellen was about listening, and we played Chinese whispers, and you can imagine by the end of the line what the message sounded like. Nothing like it did when it started out. Nothing like the original. And then in 2024, people were beginning to find their feet and become comfortable with their role. 2014, thank you, Alan. Thank you.
You're joking, I thought that was. When I came off or something with.
So 2014, we built a pictureless jigsaw to look at leadership, team building, organisations. And I have to say the Board of Advisors were the best at this, because all of the supporters and all of the trustees thought they had a plan, but there are really good jigsaw puzzlers in our organisation, and they got us organised, absolutely. And we put a ribbon from one jigsaw puzzle to the other. And we realised that people came from, at that time, as far as Aberdeen, all the way down to London. And as Alan said earlier, it's that thing about people making time and giving their time to St. Joseph's. 2015, we played Jenga to develop our foundation. Sister Kathleen Fox cheats, and she cheats at every activity, and we have the evidence to show that. 2017, we played Connect 4, and it was all about the importance of connections, and we set a task that people were to make as many connections and to see who could win. And it's really lovely to see Sister Margaret Barrett with us this morning, because Sister Margaret Barrett joined a group with Sister Eileen and some of the Board of Advisors, and they worked together rather than working against one another. And they filled their Connect 4 matrix because they came together. They weren't trying to beat one another. So lots of lessons learned then. In 2018, we were talking about risk and taking good risks and what that looked like for the Board of Advisors and the people we support and the organisation. And I personally took a big risk with the activity because it was based on water pistols and water balloons and guns. And Sister Eileen Clancy said the activity was really good, but let's not do it again. So we haven't done it again. And then in 2019, we came together with the trustees to look at who it was, St. Joseph's, what did we do, what message did we want to share with the wider community, with the world in general, about our organisation. And we put picture boards together that informed the new logo. And I have, the pleasure of sharing with you our strapline that came from that day, and it was by Stuart. Stuart made a comment in amongst the discussions. And can you remember what it was, Stuart? Where the person, yeah.
mayor person. No.
Well, we have-
Oh. Where the person matter.
where the person matters, and that was adopted as our
No,
strategy.
I got that off.
Where did you get that?
Half of the matter.
Heart of the matter.
Whatever that.
2020, during COVID, we weren't really able to come together. So we sent the trustees and each of the board of advisors a piece of a jigsaw and asked them to just draw how they felt, what they were missing. Because we couldn't come together, we could bring the pieces of the jigsaw together and be together as a group. And we have that jigsaw, and we're very, very proud of that jigsaw. 2021 was the first time that we came together after COVID, and we all had to wear masks. Do you remember?
Mask.
Yeah. And we looked at how everybody was feeling at that point, and we did some games. Do you remember?
Games.
And then we made faces of everybody, cut out everybody's eyes and nose and mouth, and we put it together. We had lots of fun with that, didn't we?
Fun.
Lots of fun. And last year was a very special year. It was our 10-year anniversary of the Board of Advisors here in St Joseph's. And we came together and put a quiz together for the day, just to see what we could all remember from the last 10 years. So that was an absolutely fantastic experience. So just before we watch a video clip that we made earlier in the week, we have really worked hard with the people we support to ensure that we're inclusive as possible, so that anyone who wishes to join the Board of Advisors is able to do so. And we work together to put the support in place. And we need patience, we need to develop skills around communication tools and such like. But if you give it time, it works. So I would like to ask Rihanna if she would play a video which has a number of the people that are here today, but also Alan Simpson, who uses Boardmaker communication tool.
Can you all see that okay?
Yes, can see it, thanks.
Great.
Your certificate.
Your certificate for how many years? For 10 years.
10 years.
You've been on the board for how many years? The full 10.
10.
And are you happy to be part of the Board of Advisors moving forward?
How does it make you feel? What you do? It makes you feel happy
Happy. That one.
and happy,
Okay.
excited
Excited
to see all your friends.
to the friends.
Do you look forward to seeing the trustees?
Huh?
Yeah. So it makes you feel happy.
Feel happy.
Is it happy to see them?
See them, huh?
It's good.
And happy to see them. Huh? Yeah.
Which games have you enjoyed the most at the away days?
Which game at the away days did you like the most? Want to show them? What did you do? And who did you soak? Football.
People.
What about the water game?
In the gun.
Who did you soak?
Rob. Yes. Is the work that you do with the Board of Advisors hard? Or is it easy?
Is work
Or-
hard?
So good.
Good. That good, good.
And are you happy to give up a Saturday morning once a month to come along? Yeah?
Yeah.
So, Saturday
Yeah.
morning.
Yeah.
Come here. And do lots of work.
Come here.
Houses, and then it became St Joseph's Homes.
Is that right?
Remember?
Is that right, yeah?
And we had to develop the new tenancy agreement. And do you like where you live? Is that a bit like your house? Yeah? And you were able to tell us all the things that happened in your house. Yeah?
Who do you live with? Who's in your house? John, who's that? Just you? Do you like living on your own? How does it make you feel? Makes you happy?
And do you want to share with anybody? No, no. So it's important for you to be there. And do you remember this policy? Alan, do you remember this one? The involvement policy. Who helped us pick all the pictures for the policy?
Who picked them?
You.
You. Oh, because having good pictures is good better for you, isn't it?
And it's easier to read for you. Yeah? And does everybody help to choose things? Yeah. And who has the final say? Who do we listen to? To you? Yeah? To you, that's right, to everybody.
Everybody. What does it say? Because your voice matters.
It matters.
It's really important.
I'm sure you'll agree that that really gives a bit of an insight into some of the work that the Board of Advisors does. And it's fair to say that the Board of Advisors give up a huge amount of their time every month coming together. So as Claire says, people meet every month to do some work and then come to the trustee meetings to talk about that work. But what does that actually mean for St Joseph's? Why is that important? Why does that make a difference? And what we've ensured at St Joseph's is that everybody has a voice, that decisions aren't being made by the management team, by the senior team, by the trustees, without really listening to what's going on within St Joseph's and what people want from us as an organisation. Because who does St Joseph's belong to?
Ours.
It's ours. It's
Ours.
It's ours.
Yes.
It's everyone's, isn't it?
Everyone. Over the staff.
The staff and the people we support. Absolutely. It doesn't belong to one person. It's an organisation that works for everyone. So it's really important that everyone has a say.
Rob.
Everybody. We're all working together
And
and everybody's voice is equal.
then we staff
In your house.
no staff office then
That's right.
hours
And
everybody.
Everybody, that's right, because actually that's an important point, Lillian, that the staff in the office are working as part of the service as well, aren't they?
Then
So we always say that everybody's making a contribution to St Joseph's, whether you're getting support or whether you're working out in one of our houses, in your house, or if you're working in the office. Everybody's making a difference and everybody's voice is important.
and then in the voices
Absolutely. And Joyce, do you remember when we had the Our Voices Forum last week and we asked whose voice was the most important? Can you remember what we thought the answer to that was?
I can't remember that. What did you think? I can't remember.
Well, first of all, you said that my voice was the most important, and that was but then we decided that everybody's voice.
Everybody's got to get heard and listened to, and then basically, and you've got to listen to. I can't even see. The trustees, they're listening to us. Other people has to listen to us and understand what we're saying, doing the work and best what we can do. And from the Joseph situation, you're all starting to do reading.
Yeah, absolutely.
I agree.
You agree? That's good. That's really good. But the one thing that we realised as an organisation last year when we came together for our celebration was that the board of advisors weren't part of the formal structure of St Joseph's. They're a voluntary group in which people give lots of time, but there was no formal role or responsibility there for people, which we thought maybe was a bit of a risk, didn't we? Because what happens if the trustees one day said, we don't want to listen to the voices of people, or if Colette said, I'm not giving up my Saturday morning, I prefer to have a lie-in. We could lose the board of advisors, couldn't we?
You can actually lose the board of advisors.
So, did we think that that would be a bad thing if we lost them?
That will be the bad thing.
That would be a very bad thing. So we've been doing a big bit of work, haven't we, together?
Yes. Yeah.
So, and we've been looking at the structure of St Joseph's and how we can make sure that the board of advisors are always part of our structure, so that nobody can say that there won't ever be another board, that there won't be a board of advisors. So we're making sure for the future, when we're not here or we're not part of the board or part of St Joseph's, that the board of advisors as a group continues.
Yes.
So have we been working on a big document?
Yes, we have.
We have. And what's that document got in it?
Remember?
There's been a wee while.
Has it got all the guidelines in it for the board of advisors? Because the other thing we thought of was actually you as a board need to know what your responsibilities are and what you can do and what you can say, and sometimes what you can't say.
That's right.
Just like everybody's got some rules. So we set some guidance up so that people that came to the board of advisors knew what their job was going to be and how much time they'd have to give up. And for the trustees, it meant that they also have a really clear idea of the role of the board of advisors, but also what the board of advisors can ask from them, and actually giving kind of some rules and regulations for the trustees around timescales for responding to questions. So we said that the trustees might not always say yes to something, but they always have to give an answer to something, don't they, if the question's asked?
Yes.
And say why that they decided to take that decision. Because the last thing that we would want as an organisation is for this incredible level of integration that we've reached to peter away because of people changing within the board of advisors or people changing jobs within St Joseph's. We really want to keep the spirit and ethos of the board of advisors because it enriches our work, doesn't it? It makes us a really, really strong organisation because we know that everybody's voice is heard in St Joseph's, and it's not one person making a decision, it's everyone having a say in that decision that we're making. And it's something that the board of advisors is something that, you know, Colette and I and Marie and everyone at St Joseph's are incredibly proud of, for all the work that you do and all the help that you give and all the time you give up and for the really hard time you give me.
No, that's not true.
That's not true.
You've not been there and done it.
You've been there.
You've not been there and done it.
In water.
And the water,
Water.
Lillian at our fate threw how many buckets of water over me? Uh-huh. Did you throw 2? 4, 2. But we wouldn't be who we were as an organisation without the board of advisors. And actually, I think it gives us a real shared sense of belonging, doesn't it?
Yes.
So when you come into a meeting or when you come into the office, do you feel uncomfortable?
No.
Do you feel worried?
No.
Or do you feel like this is a place at home?
It's there to when you go into a company or any places, okay, it can be uncomfortable in some ways, but sometimes you can approach it in a different way.
But do you feel comfortable when you're in a big meeting with the trustees?
Yes.
And that you belong there?
Yes.
And that, I think, really gives the essence of the board of advisors and some of the amazing work that goes on. You know, we do see the benefit and impact of the board, and we can't wait to see where the next 10 years takes us, can't we, as we get stronger?
You probably get stronger, more listening to, do more paperwork, what you're all doing.
And do you think we could maybe help share with the group and maybe other organisations
You can do that as well to show
how we've worked?
Yes, you can actually show them what you're actually doing and what achievements you've been doing to help everybody.
Fantastic, Joyce. Thank you so much. But it's not all hard work. I think it's fair to say with the board of advisors, there is a lot of hard work goes on, but the one thing that we do have and that we've shared today is a sense of fun, isn't it?
Yeah.
You said you like to have a laugh, Lily.
I do peanut water, rub, and can fit, and fun.
That's fun.
And what you haven't said, Lily, is about how Colette hit me in the face with a cream pie at the away day.
Maybe.
I've still not forgotten.
No contact.
But I'll hand back to Colette to introduce our next video.
Just as we bring our contribution to Vincentian Values Week to an end, we thought we would end the presentation before we take some questions if people have questions. And it's a short video that we believe demonstrates St. Joseph's values in action around friendship, choice, inclusion and respect.
Stuart,
And here.
who do you think talks the most at board of advisors?
Bye.
What? Who chats the
Who
most?
chats the most at board of advisors?
Let's put their sensible head on.
You know, Stuart.
Not me.
Oh, Alan, what do you think? Not him?
No.
Look, he's telling you. Chat.
Chat.
Right, okay. That.
Chat.
No.
So if anybody has any questions that they would like to ask, I'm sure people would answer them for you.
Thank you so much to the board of advisors and Colette and Rob there. It is wonderful to hear all the incredible work you do and your incredibly important role. It's certainly obviously one of the most important roles at St. Joseph's, and it's vital that we hear your experiences this Vincentian Values Week. So thank you so much. Sister Ellen.
I haven't really got a question because I go back a long way with this group. But what I want to say is how fantastic you all are, how much everything has grown, and how wonderful the contribution that the Board of Advisors has always made from the very beginning. So congratulations to you all and to Colette. I kind of think about Maureen, who was there in the beginning, and lots of other people who have helped with the growth of this group. At the time, I think Rob was actually a trustee when we first started to do this. So I just want to congratulate you. Your 10th birthday last year was a wonderful occasion. I wasn't there, but I know a lot about it. So, and I send my greetings to everyone on screen and to all of our organisations on this feast day of St. Vincent. And what a wonderful feast day to hear from you, our Board of Advisors in St. Joseph's. Couldn't be more appropriate. So I hope and I pray that we will learn from you in some of our other work to involve people and the people we support in other organizations by being even more inclusive than we are already. And you can never do too much to be inclusive. So big thank you to all of you for sharing with us today the wonderful journey you've been on for the last, well, it must be nearly 11 years now. So thank you all, and a very happy feast to everybody.
Kathleen?
I'd like to thank you all for that presentation too, because it was brilliant and well done, and I was really looking forward to it. But Stuart, I'd like to pick up something you said, because you always have brilliant throwaway comments. And you said to Rob, I've been there and I've done it. And I think that's one of the kind of essences of the Board of Advisors, that you have the lived experience of the service. You know what it is to live in St. Joseph's and to get support. And you know what it is that you need to live really good lives. And so I think for me, that's what the Board of Advisors does. It shares where you've been and what you've done and the experience you have that the trustees don't have. They bring different skills, but without you, it doesn't make a whole. So I just want to thank you for that comment. And I want to say, as well as working with the trustees, you also give a lot of support to different staff in the organisation. And I know that from the pastoral area, is that if there's something we're not sure about, we can come to the Board of Advisors and you will help us to look at it and give us your comments on it. And so your work is very diverse. So thank you for that, and thank you for being the lived experience.
Alan, would you like to say a little bit about the training that you do with staff?
Well, that's the staff induction, is that
Staff induction, because you're absolutely right, Sister Kathleen. Lived experience is incredibly important, and one of the things that we do with an induction is a session that's run currently by Stuart and Alan to share some of that experience. And what's that session called?
staff induction.
Staff induction. And do you know what your bit is? Your section's called?
We Stuart and myself. Stuart and myself just talk to the staff and tell them what makes a good, what makes a good. Right, where was I now? I've lost track.
What do you talk about at the induction, Alan?
What makes a good support worker and what makes not so good support worker. We never use the word bad, because nobody should use bad, isn't it? That should be one of the ones that should be abolished, got rid of completely.
That should be abolished. But sharing that information about what makes a good support worker and what makes not such a good support worker really provides a powerful message, doesn't it? Because it's you telling people, the staff that are going to be working with you and all the people St. Joseph supports, what the expectation is on them from you. Not from myself or Marie or Colette, it's from you, isn't it?
Nah, because we've had the experience of staff that's been good and bad. There's been good and bad with everybody, but you'll get that. You won't get that in organisations.
Okay, now, all right.
And one of the things I think we should celebrate while everyone here, Alan, was all the work you did with the NIN. Because was it last year that you stood down as chair of the NIN?
I did indeed, yes.
And would you like to tell people what the NIN is?
The NIN, as it's called, is the National Involvement Network for the whole of Scotland, and it just comes together every so often and have meetings just like this, you know, have big groups of meetings from all over borders, over the west side, over Glasgow side, and up Dundee side. We've had meetings all over the place, Dundee, Edinburgh, Glasgow. We tried the borders, but we gave up on that because it wasn't worth the time. The time. We tried that, yes. We went down and only 27 people turned up. So
only 27 people turned up for a meeting. I think we could all learn from that.
Yes, because we usually have 50 or 60 people at a meeting at any time.
And the NIN though, it's about making sure that people's voices.
It's the same. It's running along the same lines as this.
So that was really good though, because you could bring your experience at the NIN to St Joseph's, but also your experience from St Joseph's and what was happening to the NIN.
That's why I'm good at chairing meetings, because I did it for so long.
You're a very good chair. You are.
One of the real things that made a difference to us as an organisation was when the Charter for Involvement suggested that someone we support should be on the staff interviews right across the spectrum, you know, from a chief exec all the way through. So there's always someone we support present at a staff interview, and feedback from staff is that makes such a difference to them and getting to know the organisation.
And going back to these staff inductions, that was only started as a one-off, actually.
Yeah, it was,
And how long has it been on? And how long has it been on for?
Oh, ages, years and years, 12, 13 years.
I would be here 11.
So 11 years.
Because remember, no, but remember, Colette, we did the workshop.
Oh, that's right.
We did the workshop. And from that, through
The staff training, staff induction.
Fantastic feedback. As you can see, we could talk for hours about the work we do and everything that's going on. Has anyone else got any further questions for the board?
Well, yeah, what, Kevin? Oh, you're just on mute there.
Okay, well, okay. No, it's not a question. The same as Sister Ellen. I just started working up in the space in Govan Hill in Glasgow in January, the 10th of January. But I just work in the accounts, so I'm not at the coal face as it's recognised, you know. But it's very humbling and very refreshing to see the people who are being supported at the heart, you know, at the very heart of everything, you know. And I think it's absolutely wonderful. It's so humbling to know, as I say, I can be a wee bit detached because, not naturally, just the nature of the job, but I can be a wee bit detached just working through the numbers and the paperwork and so on and so forth. So, but it's very comforting and, as I say, very humbling to see the people who St Joseph's are supporting at the very heart of everything, do you know? And even just an exemplar there was on the interview panels. And it's great to have these meetings, even though Zoom for practical reasons. But from my perspective, on personal perspective, it's quite refreshing and quite necessary. So because sometimes you get a wee bit lost in figures and numbers, which are not people, although they are important in themselves. But it's very refreshing and, as I say, very humbling to know, to remind myself and maybe others the nature and purpose of what we're doing here, especially, as Sister said, in the feast day of St Vincent. So I want to thank the project and even thank everybody, and thank you very much for the invite. It's very refreshing, very rewarding.
Thanks, Kevin. Anybody else? I think we've got time for one more question if there are any. David?
Thanks, Brianna, and thanks very, very much to everyone on the advisory group for educating us there. Now that was really inspiring. And I have a quick question as well. So I work at a charity that supports people who are homeless, and a lot of the guys that we work with that we support don't like formality. They don't like meetings very much. And I was wondering if any of you have got any ideas or experience of making sure that people who would like to be on the advisory group who don't like meetings still have their voice heard as well. How do you get around that kind of thing? Has it ever come up?
I think in the beginning for us, the thought of a meeting was daunting. So we just used to get together and have conversations, and build up the relationship and the skills of people. Just kind of getting a feel for what people wanted it to look like, and shaping it from there. And our experience has been, once you provide an opportunity, people will come and will avail of that, but it's being open to being flexible, putting in a lot of time and a lot of effort in the beginning for sometimes little reward. But just that slow and steady approach opens up many, many doors. No expectation on people. Come along, if you like it, stay with us. If you just want to come now and then, that's fine. And then you can formalise things as it becomes more established. But it is hard work. We won't deny that. We had to really work at it, didn't we?
No, more
Time.
more time and more work.
More time and work.
But I think as well, David, there's a fine balance.
After put it the other way, you know how you get more time, no space. You have no space, no question.
You need more time, and that's it. The board of advisors gives everybody time, doesn't it? But I think the board of advisors have done really well. So not every member of the board of advisors chooses to come to the committee meetings or the trustee meetings or wants to be there, or sometimes wants to be there but maybe not participate. But the Saturday meeting is a much more informal gathering. It's more of a gathering of friends, and there's always a bit of a social side to it. You have lunch at the end of it.
Yes.
So it's not seen as we're coming together to do this piece of work or to have this, this formal conversation. There's always an element of fun and laughter, and always a social element at the end as well. And then that's a really good way of capturing from that meeting and the feedback that comes from that whole group to the trustees, maybe by just one or two of the board of advisors at a meeting. So it means that message is passed on, and that collective thinking is passed on, but people don't feel that they have to be part of this formal structure if that's not something that they want to be part of.
That's really, really helpful. Thank you.
I'm Joyce, but basically what you're understanding with another client, he can maybe come along and see what he likes. He doesn't have to come, or if it's his choice.
That's right. It's all about choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
And Kevin, just because because of your lovely comment, not just because of it, but obviously we haven't met you yet. You're very, very welcome to come through to St Joseph's anytime you like to meet the organisation. And that invitation also extends to everyone as well. If you'd like to come and meet the board of advisors, if you haven't, and find out more about St Joseph's, everyone, of course, is very welcome. And we would also like to say a big hello to all the chief executives who are there. We haven't welcomed you to St Joseph's yet, and I'm particularly sorry not to be with you all this morning. but I'd be delighted that I've been able to be here with the board of advisors sharing this presentation.
Thank you. Well, a huge thank you again to the Board of Advisors and Rob, Colette, and everyone at St Joseph's. That was a wonderful day a wonderful way to celebrate the Feast of St Vincent. So I hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, and if you can, please come back again tomorrow at 10 a.m. We're very excited to have the Marillac, who will be explaining to us how they ensure people have choice and control in their care. So we hope again. Thank you all again very, very much for today.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a great day.
You
Thank
too.
you so much. Thank you. Thank you.